Hi, my name's Cheese, and welcome to another Fossil Sweeper Progress Update video. If you haven't heard of the project before, you can find an overview here, but the TLDR is, it's like Minesweeper, but you're digging up fossils, and you get to build skeletons out of the stuff that you find. Over the past month or so, I've been continuing to work on chat integration, this time focusing on the assembly phase. While testing some of the work mentioned in the last video, I realised that the skies I added alongside the new dig phase backgrounds don't look great when the hide background setting is enabled. Because skies affect lighting, and I'd like the look and feel of everything to remain consistent, I can't just turn the sky off. Instead, I added a large box around the level, big enough to contain the camera when at maximum zoom, and used that to guarantee a neutral grey background behind the level. Longer term, I think I'd like to put a radial gradient there to draw focus to the middle, and if I do that, I'll probably end up using it as a base for non-backgrounds for all phases. Initially, I was intending to give players coordinate labels for columns, so that chat participants could enter a command like drop F3 to drop chunk F in column 3. But since the assembly phase uses a perspective camera, chunks that are distant from the camera end up with a visually different alignment to chunks near to the camera, making it more or less impossible to predict where a chunk would fall, unless you already know what its placement is going to be. Since I don't really want to change assembly gameplay for this, I've settled on a slightly more convoluted implementation where a pick command specifies which chunk is going to be acted on, showing a little preview icon of its unprojected position at the bottom of the screen. L and R commands move it left and right, while CW and CCW rotate. When the chat participant is happy, they can do a place command to confirm their suggestion, and sort or stash will immediately confirm a suggestion for those actions. On one hand, this is more convoluted, but on the other hand, it does make chat gameplay feel a little more like the game's regular gameplay. I also like that it gives chat participants a chance to feel like they're able to explore or experiment without committing. I still have some things to work out with regards to what happens when there is no player present, and stream delay is longer than it would take for the first piece to fall to the ground and smash. For the purposes of simplifying some setup when playing with puzzle mode, I no longer automatically pick up the first piece. Maybe it would make sense to do the same for action mode, and not automatically start the timed gameplay until there has been some input of some kind. This being a first pass, the UI is still a bit clunky. Activating a chat suggestion in puzzle mode will either sort a chunk or pick up a new one, and if I add mouse controls for action mode, that'll potentially complicate things as well. Currently there's no way to accept chat suggestion via gamepad or keyboard controls, but that's something I can sort out later. While doing all of this, I refactored a bunch of the assembly phase's functions to take a chunk to operate on as an argument, rather than assume that we always want to manipulate the current chunk, which allows participants to poke around with chunks independently of what the player is currently messing with. A very big thank you to the supporters going by on screen at the moment. Their support has helped me eat while making this game, and I am so very appreciative. A huge thanks also to Screen Tasmania, who supported this project with a small grant. Anyway, that's about it for today. If you'd like to keep track of development or try the playable prototype, there are some links in the description. And if you're super keen to check out what we talked about here today, I make early test builds available to my supporters on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and goodbye!